We're not interested in new technology for technology's sake. A camera is only a tool. It's something that we use for a particular either look or because you're in a particular environment. I mean, we've done it for decades. We've used crash cameras, we've used little hidden cameras. I think I remember, actually the first digital camera I used, I think, was on a series called Spooks, which is now in its 8th series, so that must be 8 years ago. Although the series has always been shot on film, we shot on digital cameras because we wanted it to look like a digital camera, and that was using the tool for that particular purpose. I was satisfied with them because they looked the way I wanted them to look. It looked processed. I didn't want it to look like film. So in that respect, I was using it to its advantage for its inherent qualities. I have to say that digital cameras have come along leaps and bounds, and there was never an issue 10 or 8 years ago that you could shoot a whole TV series digitally, particularly not in high definition. Obviously, Digibeta has been around for years and years and years, and that was an accepted standard definition, was an accepted quality on TV. Now everybody expects high definition, and film also falls into that bracket as being a resolution that's considered good enough to be high definition. Unfortunately, the cost of the material weighed against the cost of the tape, it doesn't come out favourably. And so what people have gone is, well, obviously to shoot, it's cheaper to shoot digitally, but in post-production, possibly you may end up spending more in post-production. It's not, particularly with the newer data recording cameras, there are hidden costs that have to be taken into account. And I think what we're trying to do is to get some sort of transparency in the way images are made, and some sort of method or some recording of knowing how the best way what's the best way to achieve the best pictures from digital cameras. It used to be that with film is what you see is what you get. As a DOP, you're employed for the look that you bring to a film. You're employed for the way that you light the image. Digital cinematography came along, and the emphasis was sort of shifted slightly towards post-production. And a lot of, particularly in the commercials area, a lot of producers would say, well, don't worry, we'll fix it in post. That became the mantra, we'll fix it in post. And the other thing I used to be asked was by colorists, don't worry about how you light it, just give me your best light. What does that mean? What I have traditionally been brought up to expect is to create an image that looks how I want it to look, and not to have to process it afterwards in post-production. Although you can always equate what happens in post-production to what happens when you put a piece of film through a chemical bath. That, in a way, is processing it, but albeit in a much simpler way and a much more controllable way.